Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
What is the real meaning of getting old? Well, old is when you are cautioned to slow down by the doctor instead of by the police. And here's the best one. Old is when getting lucky means finding your car in a parking lot. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Proudly do our pledge. Good morning. Oh, good morning. I'm glad to be back here in the saddle at the studio this morning for Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Along with some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route, service 734-6969. And right now, without further ado, let's go to the phone line. Good morning, Pledge of Allegiance person.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
Fat, sassy, and ready to rock and roll.
Sounds like you.
All right, let's go.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Wheels. Thank you much. And it's time for our weather forecast to start things off this morning. And, of course, Cheney Flooring and Home Design is our weather sponsor. You know, you got to get in there at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley and look for the blue door. You'll find it. Oh, there it is. Yes, stop in. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home, an individualized, personalized home. They can help you at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another beautiful day in the valley as we do get one day closer to the weekend. It looks like this high-pressure system will be sticking around at least for the rest of the week and into next week. Today, looking at sunny skies, slightly breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 12 miles an hour. High of 78 is what we're looking at tonight, low 45 tomorrow. Wind's going to be dying down just a skosh. Sunny skies, high of 80 with an overnight low of 45. Winds picking up again for Saturday out of the southwest, right around 15 miles an hour. Going to be warmer, high of 85 with an overnight low of 52. For Sunday, sunny and 87. Looks like 90 degrees for Monday as we go back to work. Yesterday's high was 78. The overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you very much. And right now, I want to remind you, our weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Number to call 678-6945. Or stop in and see these wonderful people and look for the blue door. Really good folks. Hey, Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 31, 32.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, along with Merv May, Cade, Rocky, Lance, Udy, and the entire crew for the sale that works for you. 11 o'clock starting time at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale today. Now, I talked to Merv last night, and he said they've got a couple of semi-loads loads of 2 to 3 year old heiferettes coming in from Ely, Nevada, the Uvalde Ranch. Good folks down there and really good cattle. Butcher cows coming in from Oak Valley, TLK, let's try that again. Oak Valley Dairy, TLK Dairy, Acme Dairy, and Vandervat Dairy are all bringing in a lot of good butcher cows, and the sale starts at 11 a.m. this morning at the sale that does work for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for consignment and sale information, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets a steer calves there here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Oh, you know what today is, and I'm excited on a personal level because last month we couldn't have Lunch Bunch. I was in the hospital, but oh my goodness sakes, we're going to have Lunch Bunch today, and it's at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant. Our thanks go out to our door prize sponsors, and they are Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Walmart, Stokes Groceries. I'm telling you, thank you. We really appreciate it. Today at 11:30, Lunch Bunch. Don't you miss it. Going to be a fun day. By the way, our thanks go out to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You know, the last couple of days, maybe you don't agree, but haven't you felt kind of a tinge of fall? Well, maybe you tippy-toed on the linoleum floor this morning and went, well, I'll tell you what, be ready to have your heating unit kick in and keep you warm. Make sure everything's all ready to go. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. Absolutely the best for all your heating and cooling needs at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Really good people. Just a moment ago, I mentioned that we're going to have our Lunch Bunch today. Well, it is Lunch Bunch Day, and it's over at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and also another location at 291 Pole Line in Twin Falls. Now, Thomas and Terry, the whole crew, are waiting on us to get over there at 11:30, and I urge you to be in attendance. The food is fantastic. Service is great, really nice people, and you can stop in anytime, all the time, to America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, and we will be there at 11:30 today. But I also want to remind you of something else. We're going to be starting something brand new this morning at 9:12, 9:13, right in that area, and it's going to be the Denny's Football Great Big Original Grand Slam Breakfast Giveaway. Whoa, wow. How are you going to do it? How are you going to win it? Well, I'm going to ask you a trivia question about football, and you come up with the right answer, and Denny's in this program is going to give you a free Original Grand Slam breakfast. It's good at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. So you be listening at, of course, like I said, 9:12, 9:13, right in that area. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Folks, I want to take just a moment, and I want to say thank you again. I get a little teary-eyed and misty-eyed when I think about all the very, very nice people in this area that care. They care. I have had so many emails, so many cards, so many calls, so many people have stopped in to see, how you doing, Zeb? Well, I want to say, first and foremost, I am doing exceptionally well. I am way ahead of the healing curve for that major surgery I just went through. And matter of fact, I'm almost at about 3 weeks to a month ahead. And my thanks to Sharon Hardy Mills yesterday for filling in, and always my thanks go out to Wheels, super young man, for covering me as I went to Salt Lake City for a checkup on my hip and my leg. and everything's going great. I'm almost, and some people will kind of narrow their eyes on this and think of this word, I'm almost back to normal. And a lot of people are saying, Zeb, normal? That can't ever happen. Well, I've got renewed vigor and a renewed attitude for not only this job, but also other things in the community. So look out. I appreciate all your kind remarks. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental. We're going to be talking to Juan over at the Burley location a little bit later on this morning. Barry Equipment and Rental with 3 locations to serve you: South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they got a great repair shop at the Burley location. It's been remodeled and ready to serve you, and repairs for small engines, skid steers, lawnmowers, heavy equipment. Oh, they are good. And all your equipment rentals and equipment sales. These folks are the best. Barry Equipment and Rental. They have the equipment to get the job done right. And don't forget, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. This is Jeff. Young couple things.
Yes, sir.
I want to wish you the best of health and continue your miraculous recovery.
Well, you know something, Jeff, I got to tell you. Jeff, let me just... Uh-huh.
So have all the people to watch out for the little kids and the school buses.
Absolutely. It's that time of the year to be very, very cautious. But I want to say thank you for your kind comments. And I want to say my wife has done such a great job helping me, and the recovery couldn't have taken place had it not been for her. And I thank the good Lord above, because we have been blessed with super, super healing, and everything's looking good. Thank you so much.
Kudos to Goober, too. It won't be long until them big old sugar beet trucks are going to be running around, so people be aware of that. And watch out for those guys. Some of them are about half crazy.
I agree with you, sir. Have a great day and drive carefully out there. Thank you. All right, sir. Nice man right there. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Remember when Obama said words to this effect, well, if you like your doctor and you want to keep your doctor, you can like and keep your doctor on Obamacare. Wait a minute. Let's back up the bus for a minute, because that's not exactly what's taking place. If your doctor is on an approved list of Obamacare, then yes, you may keep your doctor. Now, what I've done is we're going to have on next week, and we're trying to get her on next Monday, and that is the wonderful doctor from Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. Elena George. When Obamacare was first coming onto the scene, and a lot of books were written, and negativity about Obamacare and what it would do, what it wouldn't do, and a lot of people went, oh, come on, you don't know what you're talking about. It's going to work, a real good program. This lady came on my show long before anybody else, and she broke it down, it being Obamacare, and explained exactly what was going to happen and what will happen and how that happening would affect you and your coverage. And you know what? She was spot on with everything that's occurring with the devastating effects of higher costs, less coverage, etc. with Obamacare. And we're going to get her back on this next week, and we're going to have kind of a review of everything they told us they could do versus the actuality. So I'm looking forward to having her back on the program. Obamacare, when you crack the egg and let it out of the eggshell, it didn't turn into a very tasty omelet. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Want to remind everybody about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Helping you Fly just about hit me in the nose, helping you get back to being and feeling like yourself. Don't forget Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the physical therapists are ready to serve you. Make an appointment today, 678-1191, 678-1191. All the exercises, hydrotherapy pool is there. Oh, my. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Wonderful people ready to serve you, 678-1191. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good, Zeb. Hey, you know, in the past you've had two different ladies on, I think, that were experts on Obamacare, and maybe they were the same lady. I don't remember, but I know that one was a physician.
Yes.
Maybe from Arizona?
No, Dr. Elena George was the first one that came out long time ago on my program. She's been on about 8 or 9 times. And she really went into every section of Obamacare, the negativity, what it would cost, what it would do, what it would take away. And she was the original person that came on the program many times. And I have nothing but respect for her, Randy. She nailed it.
Right. No, she was so perfect. I was thinking, now, is that the one they're going to have on again?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because, you like I said, it seems like you'd had a different guest on, too, that was just unbelievably good. And you always want to, like to hear back from him. But maybe it was Elena George. The thing of it is, when you have somebody of an authority, a well-informed, ethical authority, who tells you something that is objectively true, but because somebody may have an opinion about, you and your, in other words, you're a conservative. So because you're a guest, you have a guest on your show, they discount it like it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And this is no disrespect to you whatsoever, but this is the kind of thing that we fight here, is where do people get their information, and are they smart enough to know whether or not the information they're reading is true or not, and are they going to overcome their prejudice against you, for instance, and listen to somebody who actually knows the facts of the situation. I don't know if Elena George is what she is, if she's Republican, Democrat, or she don't care. But when she comes to Obamacare, she's an expert.
Well, the thing about Dr. Elena George that I have found, and I've talked to her personally on the phone, off the radio, many times. She is a lady that when this first started coming out, the grouping of information, if you will, about Obamacare, and also the writing of a book by a gentleman by the name of Nick J. Tate, Obamacare, A Survival Guide, everything that Elena George told us on the program, this has been a long time ago, years ago, when she first started coming on the show, has come to fruition, Randy, because she, as a physician, just leave the politics out of it. She, as a doctor and a physician, saw the handwriting on the wall as to how negative it would be for the general public, and God bless her for speaking out. I mean, she went through a lot of heck, if you will, by other comrades in arms as far as doctors. She went through a lot of political heck, etc., and she emerged strong and proved that her points were right about Obamacare.
That's just the thing, see? When you have people that hear the truth, but for some reason don't believe it or aren't able to, process it because of their prejudice. I mean, they call me prejudiced, but I really don't think I am.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question real quick, and then I got to get a break in, Rand. But here's the deal. I spend, and this is not a slap on my back, it's the way I wanted to do this program. I spend about 4 or 5 hours extra per day than this program just lining up reputable people that know their subject matter and are recommended to me by the highest of news sources and news agencies. And I am not going to put anybody on this program that doesn't know their stuff, their IQs, and I've always brought on the best of people. It takes a little time. It takes a lot of convincing sometime. We're a small market radio station, but I'll guarantee you I'm always impressed with the amount of people that we have on that are very newsworthy and are on national programs in adjacency to this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's the reason why it's so important that we hear these guests. But if there's people out there who refrain from listening because they have an opinion or an attitude, again, we need to know the truth. We need to know what the truth is, and we need to react from that. And the fact that Hillary, every morning I read in the paper that, that she's ahead, and at this point, no other, candidate that was behind at this point has ever came back to win. And I'm going,
I know you're frustrated. But I can tell you this. The polls, they are a-changing as we speak this morning. Trump had an outstanding last 10 days. Trump has jumped up and has been equally tied with Hillary in some of the great big swing states, or in some states has gone ahead. And I dare say, I've got some news stories coming up that are going to amplify why these reasons are happening, but I think the race right now, Randy, is a lot closer than a lot of the Democratic arm twisting on the pollsters would show.
I hope, because, again, I just want to wake up November 9th and be happy.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. Hey, man, God bless you. I got to run. Thanks. All right. Thank you. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Hello, Dr. Christine Pickup. How are you? She's located right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room. Here is the number, 3120957. Now you're saying, why should I call her? Well, if you're noticing a hearing problem, maybe it might be linked to your medicine, maybe it might be linked to diabetes or your cardiovascular and kidney health, maybe it might be something else, high blood pressure, who knows? She can find out. And, of course, your hearing can be treated. So, hey, find out today what you're missing. Get a hearing screening. Call her today at 3120957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Also want to remind you on Mondays, oh boy, Mondays. People are loving Mondays at 8:31 right here because we give away a dozen delicious, absolutely scrumptious cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Great bakery, great restaurant. What are you waiting for? Sophie's Chatterbox in Rupert. Delicious. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. This has got to be one of the... I just can't imagine the thinking here. A couple of politicians in the state of Louisiana are trying to put together legislation right now that would limit and prohibit people from being good Samaritans and literally jumping in and helping other people. Here's the case. Some of these politicians are afraid of lawsuits, the potentiality of lawsuits, etc. And so they're saying that if you want to be a good Samaritan, you must first of all apply for a license. What? I just sat there, and when I heard this story this morning at about 4:35, 4:40, I looked at my wife and I said, this is absolutely crazy. So basically, in essence, what they're saying is that if you want to run over to a burning car, grab the door and drag the victim that was in the accident out of that burning car so they don't burn to death, you need a license. If somebody drives their car or automobile into a river and they can't get out of the car, you jump in at the risk of your life and you pull that person out of the car to safety. You need a license. You know, I'll bet you that 99.9% of the audience that's listening to this program right now probably is raising their eyebrows and saying, "What?" Yeah. If somebody is in need of help, someone is in a drowning situation, someone is in a burning car, someone is in a burning house, someone is hanging by their fingernails on the edge of a cliff, do you really mean to tell me that people are going to stand there and they're going to say, "Hey, have you got a license?" "No." "Well, have you got a license?" "No." "Well, does anybody here have a license?" "No." "Well, we'll just have to let the victim die." This is insanity. And one of the groups that they consider themselves to be very helpful in the state of Louisiana, and they're kind of their own little named effort, if you will. It's called the Cajun Navy. Well, after what happened a couple of years ago with all the flooding and everything down in New Orleans, and these guys got together and said, "Hey, if this ever happens again, Bert, you take your boat, you go this way. Ernie, you take your boat, go this way. I'll take my boat, go this way. So-and-so go this way. And we'll try to help as many people as we can." Well, the Cajun Navy came right out, and they said, "Wait a minute. If you try to regulate people and license people that are just trying to do good and serve their neighbors, go ahead, pass the law. Go ahead. We won't pay any attention to it." Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Give a good example of this. You know, nearly 40 years ago, I was coming back from Utah, and I witnessed a terrible accident where people crossed it was an access road, not a freeway at that time, and they went over and hit this car more or less head on, and it wound up down in the bar pit. I was one of the first ones on the scene, and immediately, without even thinking about it, I went to try to get them out of the car.
Uh-huh.
And I was successful with some other people of getting the door open and everything. But, you know, later on, when this thing come to trial, I was called as a witness, and the opposing people on there tried to say maybe some of the permanent damage he received was caused from pulling him out of the car. Now, the judge, I don't think even entertained that at all, thank goodness. But that's what people are concerned about. But I'll tell you honestly, if I had it to do over again, I'd have done the very same.
Absolutely. I also have been involved in a couple of those situations to where help was needed immediately. And you know something, Keith? I don't know how you feel about this, but if all of a sudden you turn around and there stands these little glass-eyed attorneys with their business card saying, "Here's my card, you're going to be hearing from our office because what you did was not ethical, you didn't have a license," I would really pity the health of that attorney for a few moments, because I'll tell you what, if somebody's in need, I'm going to be jumping in and give them a helping hand regardless.
Absolutely right, and I can honestly say in the city of Burley, there's very few attorneys that are vicious like that because they have to live in the place where they're going to condemn.
Absolutely.
And I admire these attorneys because they take care of things that are sometimes frivolous, but needed to be taken care of.
Everybody wants to provide.
Being sued.
Everybody wants to sue. Everybody's scared of being sued in this day in a very litigious society. But I'll tell you what, when that person that is in an accident is hanging by their fingernails on a cliff, I don't think they're going to look up and say, "Oh, did you purchase your license?"
Not at all.
All right, Keith, I got to run. Thank you, my dear friend. God bless you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport. Oh, I tell you what, Zach, if you're listening this morning, you and your staff are the greatest. All the lumber packages, all the things you need for the remodeling of your home, going towards Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. Oh, I know. And all the shingles and all the Western windows. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've got the best of Western windows. Save on your heating and cooling bills. And they also can help get the contractors lined up for the installation. They're good. Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, bringing you Dr. History on Tuesdays at 10:06. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb. How come you do this to me?
What, Jerry?
You get me so upset. Now, I want to know, is that a Democrat or a Republican that's thought up this terrible, terrible thing to do?
Well, ironically, one of the guys is a Republican down in Louisiana, and I'll tell you something, it just makes me, I'm not going to jade the entire Republican Party, and I wouldn't do it if it was a Democrat either. I would just say that the common sense factor of these people is limited. Everybody is so worried about lawsuits. They're so worried about litigious actions against them. Oh, I don't want to get sued. Really, Jerry, the humanity of the situation is, who in the devil cares about whether they have a license when there's a life to save?
Well, I think it's just another tax. I taught first aid and I taught CPR for years. In fact, I trained instructors for a lot of years. And the Good Samaritan law protects you. It just makes no sense what these guys are trying to do. And, if somebody's in trouble, it don't matter what kind of trouble, you try to help them.
Absolutely.
That's just good common sense.
Yeah, but Jerry, right there, Jerry, just a minute. You just said two words that are lacking in our society today. Very profoundly, you said common sense. Jerry, where is it?
Well, I know one word it is, and that's sick. Them guys have to be sick.
And I totally agree with you, my dear friend, but I'll tell you what, you hit the nail on the head. Common sense. That is what's lacking.
It's still here. There's few people that have it, but I think all of our congressmen have gone nuts.
Okay. Jerry, thank you. I got to run, buddy. Thanks.
Get out of your way.
Okay.
Before I get in trouble.
Oh, you're not going to get in trouble.
May the Lord bless you. And when you get to lunch bunch today, don't you eat over 7 plates.
I don't eat very much anymore. I can't. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget, do you know who has warm hearts for cold noses? I do. Ark Animal Hospital. Oh, yeah. 750 21st Street in Heyburn. You know what? The Ark Animal Hospital has been voted Mini-Cash's best veterinary hospital for multiple years. That's right. They've got a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they love them all. That's right, and you know that your animals are going to be very well taken care of at Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street in Heyburn. I love this slogan. We have warm hearts for cold noses. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. And I agree with Jerry. They've all gone nuts back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at it as they're trying to regulate their incompetence, because what did the government do to help those people?
Doug, let me ask you this. You have a business not that far from the river. And I'm sure that you drive by the river probably, I don't know how many times a day. Well, the fact is, if you all of a sudden saw somebody that had tipped over a boat, capsized a boat, couldn't swim, you could swim, and you were out there, would you tell me you just let them drown?
No. The federal government could throw me in jail for not having a license or fine me, but I would not stop. I would go help.
You know,
I know 99% of the people out there feel the same way.
But you know what they've done by talking about this? They have created a little bitty fear bubble in the back of people's brains. And that little fear bubble pops up and it says, ooh, wait a minute. If I jump in and help somebody out of a car, help somebody after an accident get away from the scene, it might blow up, help somebody get out of a car in the water, help somebody in a tipped-over boat, ooh, I might get sued. That fear bubble has been planted.
Right, but there is a Good Samaritan law out there, too, that protects Good Samaritans.
Yeah, but you know...
Right now, but I will find it and get back with you.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, on the Good Samaritan law, you have attorneys today, and you've seen many, many cases of this, that will go after somebody and say, oh, they were totally incompetent. What they did is they hurt my client. They wrenched his shoulder, dislocated it, can't use his arm again. Regardless of the Good Samaritan law, you're going to find somebody that will fight it and try to overcome it.
Well, this is true. Very true. But you got to look at yourself in the mirror every day, and that's the way I look at it. And
yes.
If I do what I felt was right, and they want to take all my money, they can come in, take all my money, that's fine and dandy. I can look myself in the mirror, and when I get up and talk to the Lord will know my heart, and He will take care of it.
Well, what you said is 1,000% correct, but I'm afraid of the people that are going to have that little fear bubble implanted in their brain, and instead of jumping in to assist like those brave people did in the floods down in Louisiana by Baton Rouge, when that woman was in the car with her dog, she couldn't get out. One man in particular did most, went underwater, got her out of the car, then she screamed for her dog. They went back in with other people and got the dog out of there, and they've got to have a license. Are you kidding me? That was a spur-of-the-moment, save lives situation.
And that woman right there, I'm sure she didn't say, well, wait a minute, you can't help me. You don't have a license to help me. So,
amen.
So let me drown.
I tell you, the world, honestly, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase what Jerry said a minute ago and change the words, it's not just politicians. It's the world is going nuts.
They are. And if it was common sense, everybody would have some.
Okay, Doug. God bless you, man. Thanks.
God bless. Bye.
Oh, by the way, too, the Rupert Senior Center is hosting a summer luau this Saturday, August 27th, starting at 5 p.m., $12 for adults, $6 for kids. Hawaiian menu, really good food. Call 436-9107. There we go. The number I have here has 433-9107. I don't think you have to put 2 3s in the prefix for Rupert. I think it's 436-9107. Games, all kinds of good food. Going to be fun. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I think I'll do the weather. And then when I come back, I want to talk to you about our ships in the Persian Gulf and what Iran is doing to them. Stand by for that. Right now, let's go to the weather, and the weather is brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care, located at 382 North Overland in Burley. Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin Falls. Jerome Urgent Care at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. Go to their website, urgentcareofidaho.com. Minor emergencies, major care. No appointments necessary, and it's quicker, less expensive. These are really nice people. Right now, here's the weather with Gina.
Another beautiful day in the valley as we do get one day closer to the weekend. It looks like this high-pressure system will be sticking around at least for the rest of the week and into next week. Today, looking at sunny skies, slightly breezy, winds out of the east right around 12 miles an hour. High of 78 is what we're looking at tonight, low 45 tomorrow. Wind's going to be dying down just a skosh, sunny skies, high of 80 with an overnight low of 45. Winds picking up again for Saturday out of the southwest, right around 15 miles an hour. It's going to be warmer, high of 85 with an overnight low of 52. For Sunday, sunny and 87. Looks like 90 degrees for Monday as we go back to work. Yesterday's high was 78. The overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Range.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you. Always does a great job. Her and Scotty, thank you very much. And brought to you by the Urgent Cares in Burley, Twin Falls, and Jerome. Go to their website, urgentcareofidaho.com. Minor emergencies, major care. Wonderful people. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In the Persian Gulf, right now as we speak, our Navy ships, our United States Navy ships, are being taunted and threatened by Iranian gunboats. Oh, they'll come cruising up like they're going to hit them and veer off to the side, you know, and they're ignoring any rules of the sea about keeping a distance, etc. Oh, they're just taunting them. You know, with the bully attitude of Iran, and the attitude like no matter what you tell us, we're going to do it anyway, and the absolutely fake and phony agreement that the United States has with Iran regarding nuclear activity, and how they basically just thumbed their nose at the United States, and for all of our hostages that are still there in that country, and for the money that has been paid back to Iran, and a lot of it, 400 million of it, I believe, was totally ransom money. If I were the United States Navy, I would start using some of those little gunships as target practice. That may sound harsh. Probably is. But with Iran in that area of the world, now all the other countries are not looking at the United States as a country to fear and respect. They are looking at Iran as a country to fear and respect. We have lost our credibility. And quite frankly, I'll go back to that word, respect. And I know there are those in the audience that go, oh, no, you can't shoot at those innocent people. I still maintain that when they break the rules of engagement, especially in the Persian Gulf or anywhere on the high seas, shoot them out of the water. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I know the bleeding heart liberals out in the audience, they go, oh, no, just leave them alone. They're just practicing maneuvers. No, they're not. They're intimidating our ships. They're intimidating our forces. They're intimidating the United States of America. I don't think we should put up with it. Let's see, what else is happening in the new... Here's something interesting. That WikiLeaks' Julian Assange is telling the news this morning that there is going to be a whole bunch of emails that are going to start flooding the news and newspapers and talk shows and everything else real quick about Hillary, her emails, her server, and there's supposed to be some delicious information on these next emails. As a matter of fact, there was a little bit of an inference this morning that this whole thing is going to blow up and possibly, and I hope, cost Hillary a chance at the presidency. When asked if he will release the documents before the election, Assange said, yes, absolutely. And then also it was said, when he was being interviewed by Megyn Kelly, he said, and she asked the question, if he believes that the forthcoming release will be an election game changer. And he said, I think it's significant. And we're going to see what happens. He said it depends on how it catches fire in the public and in the media. Okay, now a lot of people are down on old Julian Assange. He did some things that are not deemed proper and correct. But you know something? I appreciate the fact that there's some person or group out there that has the information and they're going to share it with our country, our free press, and the world. I do not want to see Hillary Clinton even take and buy a ticket for a guided tour to the Oval White House. No, none. Nada. If the same were being done about Donald Trump, I would have to say that a free press, a press that represents us in this country and our values, they should put forth the information and everybody should know the negativity about that candidate, whether Republican or Democrat. This woman, Hillary Clinton, is a crook. I don't trust the Clinton Global Foundation. I don't trust her husband, Bubba. I don't trust anything that's going on with the under-the-table deals that are starting to come to the surface with foreign leadership and their donations of money and then maybe gratuities going back to them. I don't trust anything with Hillary Clinton. I've asked some Democrats. Yesterday, I took a little poll. When I was in Salt Lake City, I just asked, what they thought about Democrats and they thought about Hillary. I can't find anybody that wants Hillary as a presidential hopeful. They don't like her. They don't trust the old girl. And I honestly feel that a lot of these polls, now I know you're going to argue with me on this, but I feel that a lot of these polls are twisted and are shaped by maybe some phone calls that say, hey, I think you ought to change and skew those numbers a little bit. I think the power is out there. I think the power from the Clinton machine, the Clinton political machine, which a lot of people have said and intimated is a very scary power, I think the power is there to make pollsters change the numbers. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Maybe you think everything is on the upright and absolutely 100% honest. I don't. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, do they have the tires. I had a nice visit with my buddy Randy last night. Good guy. Summer travel time still on. You betcha we're not past Labor Day yet. And if you're going somewhere, you better get in there and have your tires checked. They've got a lot of their best-selling tires on sale now. Absolutely. You stop in for your car, your pickup, SUV, horse trailer, boat trailer, whatever you need. They have the tires. And they know the tires that'll best suit your driving situations. Stop in today, and they also have the best in brake service, the best in front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries, but always the best in people and service. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, Twist Family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Yes, sir. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in, see those good folks today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, another little news story. Listen to this. I was listening to an economist this morning, and he very bluntly and blatantly said, Obama has run up a huge deficit in 8 years, over $500 billion. And regardless of who is the next president, it will go up another 33% in deficit spending. Holy mackerel. You can't run your house or your ranch or your farm or your business like that. They do. And one of the lamest and non-excusable statements I've ever heard came from Josh Earnest, the White House spokesman, when asked about this huge debt that Obama has run up. Josh Earnest just said, well, the next president is going to have to address that problem. You talk about passing the buck. You talk about rigging the Monopoly game. You talk about somebody that just basically is out of this tenure of presidency in 147 days and is going to leave the next person as president a whole bunch of bad and red ink. Well, the next president will have to address that problem. Holy cow. The worst president this country has ever seen, Barack Hussein Obama. Well, coming up next hour. Now, don't forget, we're going to ask our first trivia question, our football trivia question. High school football starts on Friday night. We got a lot of games in this area, and we're back in the football mood. And Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, we're going to be giving away an original Grand Slam breakfast if you can answer the question. I'm going to start off with an easy one this week. So get ready at 9:12, 9:13, right in that area. We're going to ask that question. We've got the chamber next hour. We got the football question for the Denny's breakfast. We've got Dog Nation. We've got Rita Ramsey. Holy buckets, don't go away. We'll be back in about 7 minutes with more Zeb at the Ranch. My. Kind of a chilly morning out there. Deanne just come back in the house, and she says, whoa, it's chilly out there. I've got 49 degrees right here at my studio. A little bit different out there this morning. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with your major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
You know, a lot of people have asked me about Western Waste Services. They say, are you really on their route service to pick up your garbage weekly? Yes, we are. Have been for many, many years. Actually, even before they came on this program. And they're locally owned people that really care. They are always at your disposal, whether it's the route service or whether you need a dumpster to fill up or whether you need anything, porta potties. They can help you, and they will. Call them at their office, 734-6969. Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Want to remind you, too, we've got a lot of dear friends, and I want to say thank you very much to our dear friends at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Oh, my goodness, every day we start the program at 8:06 with a weather forecast from Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Whatever you need to make your house a home, a personalized, individualized home, Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Be sure and stop in and see them today. And quickly, some other great folks that we want to acknowledge, and we absolutely thank them for being with us for such a long period of time. And that's, of course, Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. The number to call, and remember, is 436-5636. Joel Heward, his family, his staff, all of these folks, absolutely there to help you with the arrangements and take care of everything when there's the passing of a loved one. Always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. And again, that number, 436-5636. 866-210-3836. Well, lo and behold, let's go to the phone line right now, and we have with us, I better not say because I'm not sure who it is. Good morning, Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Zeb. It's Kyla. I'm back from vacation. How are you doing?
Well, I wasn't quite sure, so I thought I'd kind of hold my bet there for a minute. But, Kyla, how are you, and what kind of a vacation did you have?
Oh, my goodness. I had a spectacular vacation. I went to probably the hottest place on earth, it felt like right now, and that was Las Vegas. So I was down in Las Vegas for a week, and it was about a balmy 109. So to come back here, and our temperature over here is around 55, but there is a nice breeze going. So it feels like fall today, which I'm kind of sad about, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'm kind of sad to see fall come, but then on the other hand, the fall colors with the leaf changes and the kind of the weather that kind of bites your nose a little bit in the morning, I kind of like that time of the year.
I can see that you do. I think I'm just feeling sad that it's August, and to me, August says summer, so I just can't give it over to the cold temperatures yet. But then once we get after Labor Day, then I'm all about, all right, now we're moving into fall. So I think it's just me. Coming from 109-degree heat to come back to 55 degrees in the morning was a little bit of a swing for me, if you understand.
Absolutely. Well, now listen, I've got to ask you, I'll bet you your plate is full. Your desk is covered with a lot of things that are going on this fall right here in Mini-Cassia area.
Yes, we have lots of things that are going to be coming down the pipe for the MC Chamber over here. First of all, though, we want to talk about a couple things that are coming up on Saturday that are pretty exciting. I know everybody's coming off the Cassia County Fair and had a wonderful time. Did you make it out to the fair this year?
You know, I didn't because of my leg and my healing situation. I haven't been able to go a lot of places, so I missed that.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed it, too. So you and I are both, I guess, a little bit in the doghouse with that. But I was in Vegas. You had some stuff to heal up from, but this weekend, let's focus on this, is Viking Man's going to be taking place here at the Hayburn Riverside Park, and that is the half triathlon, the Olympic triathlon, sprint triathlon, and the duathlon and half marathon. And most of these races start around by the amphitheater over here at Riverside Park. And then, of course, after you finish racing, you want to head over to Paul Palooza that happens every year, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And most of those events are kicking off Saturday around 11 a.m. at Paul City Park. And you know there's going to be some excellent food, the pulled pork sandwiches, a baked food booth, you know, the scones. I know everybody's had some scones yet this year. And then they do a candy drop, which is a lot of fun for the kids, and a water slide on the hill. And then, of course, there's prizes and some drawings for bicycles. And there is going to be a grand prize awarded from Paul, and it's just a free will donation. So it's a great event if you want to take the kids to something or the family's still in town. Take them over to the city of Paul.
You know, they put together, in almost every community in Magic Valley, there's some kind of a function, and I really salute these folks for what they're doing over in the Paul area. And you, as the Mini-Cassia Chamber Director, I bet you they roll out the red carpet for you to be involved. You've got a fun job.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if they roll out the red carpet. There's no need for that. But it's been, you know, just a real joy to come back to Southern Idaho and be involved in the community and have people call us or email us or text us or, you know, walk in the door literally every day, excited about the different events and the organizations and the great things they're doing, you know, throughout the Minidoka and Cassia County area. It's just been spectacular. There are so many events that are going to be coming up even into September, October, November, that, you know, sometimes when you walk into a place and they say, oh, there's nothing to do here, and we would argue that point down in a second because there is so much to do here, and that doesn't even include all the hunters that are probably this morning's nippy weather is getting them all excited, you know, for hunting season that's going to be coming up, and some of the other fall activities.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you something. This lady is the new Mini-Cassia Chamber Director. Excellent staff, friendly people to serve everyone with questions about what's going on in Magic Valley. And how can they get a hold of you, Kyla?
Well, they can call us, of course, at 679-4793 right here in Hayburn at our office. But one thing I would want to stress to folks is get on, it's MinneCassia-Chamber.com. That's MINICASSIA chamber.com. And then punch onto or click onto our events calendar. Our events calendar is one of the best, quite frankly, in this area with the amount of hits that we get per day. And so many people are clicking onto it because we don't just list events that chamber members may have going. We list as many events as we can possibly find out about. So if you've got a community event or you've got something going on, please feel free to give us a call, stop by, send us an email with your information. It's a great resource for finding out what's happening in our community.
All right, Kyla, thank you so much over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for being on the program, and best wishes for a super week. Thank you so much.
You too, Zeb. Take care now.
All right, thank you very much. What a nice lady and great staff over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Stay tuned. In just a moment, I'm going to be giving away our first Denny's Fall Football Grand Slam breakfast. Stand by and see if you're the lucky winner. Oh, my. Don't forget, let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, Nick and the whole crew over there, they're open Mondays through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're having a fantastic closeout on the 2016 four-wheelers and side-by-sides. You can save money. And don't forget, they've got a wonderful accessory department and a fantastic service department to make sure everything's up and running. Hey, let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Yes, it's true. This is where the fun is sold. All right, here we go. Now, I've been looking forward to this, and Thomas and the crew over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 Overland in Burley, we are going to be giving away on behalf of them at Denny's Restaurant an original Grand Slam breakfast. If you can answer weekly our football trivia quiz. Okay, now this one is fairly easy. And you have to call at 436-2244. That number again, 436-2244, or the toll-free number at 866-927-4587. It's an easy question to start things off. What sportscaster posted an NFL coaching record of 103 victories, 22 losses, and 7 ties? What sportscaster posted an NFL coaching record of 103, 22, and 7? Name that sportscaster and coach. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a call real quick, and you can win an original Grand Slam breakfast. Oh, the food is great over at Denny's Restaurant. Now, we're going to be over there for Zeb's Lunch Bunch today at 11:30, and all you have to do is just answer that question. What sportscaster posted an NFL coaching record of 103 wins? Name that sportscaster / coach. Aha, here we have a caller with the, I hope, the right answer. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, is it John Madden?
What is your name, sir?
My last name is Hay, Hay, first name is Mac.
Mac Hay, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Mac, you are an astute listener and follower of NFL football. The answer is correct. John Madden, coach of the Oakland Raiders and also great sportscaster for many, many years, is the right answer. And we're going to get your name over to Denny's Restaurant, and they will have it on the list. And you stop in, you have won an original Grand Slam breakfast. I hope you're hungry.
I need fattening up, so that's very opportune. Thank you.
God bless you. Congratulations to Mac Hay. He is our first Grand Slam breakfast winner at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, and we really appreciate it. While we have just a moment, high school football is going to start up this weekend on Friday night. The Burley Bobcats go against Century. Good luck to them. Minico Spartans against Stansbury, Utah, and I understand that game is going to be played at the Holt Arena up in Pocatello. Twin Falls takes on Valley View. Declo Hornets are against Sugar Salem. Good luck over there at Declo. Raft River Trojans, always a good football team, always well coached. They're going to take on North Gym. And the Lighthouse Christian Lions take on the Valley Vikings. That's going to be a good game this Friday night. So those are some of the high school teams that are in action on this Friday evening. Well, congratulations to Mac Hay. He's our first breakfast winner. We're going to give away a breakfast every week at that time, around 9:12, 9:13, 14, 15, right there. And you stay tuned. Thank you very much to Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Also, don't forget, and we try to put this on the back burner all the time, about our life insurance and our health insurance and our retirement planning. No, don't do that. Put it in the front burner, because you need to make sure you're taken care of. I know the people that can help you, and they will help you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call for an appointment, a very important appointment, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Very accessible and devoted to serving you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance in Rupert. Very, very nice people. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Also want to remind everybody about my dear, dear friend, and I mean this, Gary Shoresman. Gary has been so helpful and so instrumental to me, helping me with the organization process for finalizing the book that I've been working on for what seems like 10 years. And I really want to remind you that he's written a lot of good books. I mean, The 4th of July in Rupert, my goodness, started in 1905. He's got a chronological history of everything that took place. And other books like Arid Acres, thank you. I'm sorry I messed up the name. Sorry about that. Other books, including the books on the city of Heyburn and all the information about Paul, Idaho, Rupert Fire Department Centennial. These and many, many more are available at the bookstore over in Rupert. This man is one of the best, putting together anything and everything, Gary Shoresman, and I thank him very much. Holy cow, where'd all these dogs come from anyway? What's going on over there? It is time for one of my favorite segments, along with one of my favorite people, and that's Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. And my goodness, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I am so happy. I am so filled with relief that I've healed up so well from surgery and everything. Why, if I were Fred Astaire, I'd be kicking up my heels.
It sounds like a good plan.
No, I'm not Fred Astaire.
Yeah, but kicking up your heels, putting them up on the desk, kicking back, relaxing, and enjoying the day.
Yeah, but that irritates me when I'm going down the road and I see somebody that's driving with their feet up on the dash. That leads me to think, uh-oh.
Yeah, I wasn't talking the dash. I said desk.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't do that either. I'll tip over, and that's the last thing I want to do is break my neck in an accident on my chair. The wheels sometimes have a tendency to scoot forward.
They go their or have their own mind and go in their own direction.
Amen to that. What is going on in the world of doggies?
Well, I don't have anybody to feature today because currently everybody we've got is either spoken for or just came in or are on their 5-day hold. But I do want to talk to people about a couple of issues. We've actually gotten reports of people's dogs coming up missing right out of their yards, off their chains, stuff like that. So make sure you guys are paying a little extra attention to your pets because there are people out there that are coming by seeing something that they like and nabbing them and taking off with them. So,
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me they're literally coming onto the property and going up to the dogs that are maybe on leashes or chains and stealing them?
oh yeah, matter of fact, we had a gentleman who had a carabiner and that stuck through the latch so the dog couldn't open up the kennel door, and had his dog inside there. They went into his yard, removed the carabiner, hung it on the fence of the kennel, and took the dog.
Okay, there's got to be some reasoning here. Are these special dogs, special breeds, or what's going on here?
It's a variation of different breeds. There's like small dogs, big dogs. I mean, there haven't been any specific type breeds. It's just something that somebody winds up liking and wanting. I don't know what their intentions are for them. I know a lot of people talk while they're stealing them and stuff, and that to be bait dogs or stuff like that for fighting dogs.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, when we did animal combat fighting class that I had the Idaho or the Humane Society put on for us a couple years ago, what they is considered a bait dog is something that they put into a kennel that they've injured and put on like one of those horse walkers and have it hanging on one spot and the dog tied to another spot and having it chase it around to build up their stamina and things like that, or putting them on a treadmill and running them that way. But it's just keeping extra close eye on your pet stuff and that, making sure that they're properly secured. If you got a kennel that you're keeping them in, instead of using one of them carabiners that somebody can just pop off, throw a padlock on it. That's the best way to protect the animal.
You know, Ken, you and I have been friends for well over 40 some odd years. And I will say this. I remember Mr. T from television. You remember him?
Oh, yeah, I remember him big time.
Remember when he used to say, "I pity the fool"? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I pity the fool that would ever try to come up to my dog, Big Red, and take him off a chain, because, quite frankly, they'll still be looking for the rest of their arm.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
He doesn't like a lot of people. But
another note on that, I want to remind everybody and stuff and that to make sure that they are keeping their dogs contained. Matter of fact, I got called out first thing this morning to an area north of Rupert out in the country that's actually a pretty busy road, North Meridian out there, for a dog that had been running around out in the middle of the road and almost caused several accidents over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is if your dog gets loose and it causes an accident, you as the pet owner can be held on that financially responsible for that accident. Matter of fact, they had an incident several years back where a dog had caused an accident that wound up killing somebody. And the family of the individual that was killed sued the people that owned the dog, and it was a hands down. They won in court, and the people were held responsible for the death of that individual.
Well, I don't want to diminish that story at all, but I want to stick a little bit more with this stealing of dogs. What kind of penalties are involved, Ken? I mean, if somebody's got a dog that they love and they cherish and they've got him outside on a leash, they're doing everything proper to make sure the dog stays on their property, they maintain him well with a kennel situation and excellent food, and then some lowlife steals the dog. What kind of penalties, is the law tough enough to go after these people?
Actually, it basically, if you get caught stealing somebody's dog, and that you could be brought up on theft of personal property because the dog is considered an individual's personal property. So they can be brought up on those or on charges of theft of personal property, and depending on what is deemed the value of that dog. I mean, like if you're a really good pet owner and really love and care for your dog, and that dog is part of your family, and that, I mean, there's no true value. I mean, it's astronomical of the value that animal is to you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would basically be based off of what the judge and the courts decide stuff and that the value of that dog is, and what kind of a penalty or fine or even jail time that you could wind up getting for the theft of that dog.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit, and do you know, as Minidoka Animal Control Headquarters, what tomorrow is?
Friday.
Oh, boy. No, it's a little bit more important than that. And you, as Mr. Dog Catcher, Dog Taker Care of, and everything else, you should know that tomorrow, Friday, is National Dog Day.
That is correct, Annette. Exactly. My days have all been running together over the last couple of weeks, so remembering exactly what day it is and stuff in that, other than it being Thursday or Friday and stuff in that, that's kind of out there in La La Land for me.
So aren't you going to say, Zeb, I'm really impressed that you would take the time and the effort with your exceptional research crew to find out that tomorrow is National Dog Day, and I put you on the spot? I mean, I'm impressed with that.
Well, I am impressed, but I know you, Zeb, and you're the man of all knowledge. So, I mean, you know everything there is to know out there, and if you don't know, you've got the staff to be able to find it out for you, and you'll know everything before I do.
Don't carry the ball too far off the field. Thanks, Ken. Hey, God bless you, man. Next week, I'll look forward to it again. Officer Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control, one of the nicest people in the world. Thanks for a great job today. Thanks. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Oh, my. We got dogs all over the place. Nobody could do a better job than what he does. Officer Ken Mort, thank you very much. And yes, it is true. Tomorrow is National Dog Day. Right now, where am I at? I got to get everything caught up. Okay, we're good. We're going to go to the telephone line again, and I get a chance on Thursdays to talk to one of the nicest people I know and one of the most knowledgeable when it comes to politics and what's going on. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good.
Okay, what's going on? We got to change this segment to the title of Rita's World. What's going on in Rita's world this morning?
Oh, not too awful much. There's a lot of stupid stuff going on with politics and a bunch of baloney going over the airwaves. But besides that,
now be real careful. Be real careful how you discern baloney and airwaves, because I've been on already, going on now for the hour and a half. What kind of baloney are you talking about?
Well, we'll start with Hillary. Her and her foundation, and just dodging every little thing, is absolutely ridiculous. And the part, I guess, that makes me mad, and of course, as many of you and you also know, I'm not a huge Trump supporter, but every time she's asked about it, it goes back to, well, Donald Trump has never done da-da-da-da with his businesses, or he's this or that or the other, and she's never going to take any kind of responsibility for what they were doing, but they were basically charging people all over the world for information if they wanted to play.
Yeah. Okay, now let's break this down a little bit. Okay, you have not been a Trump supporter. I have not been a Trump supporter. But let's face the issue as it is. He's the GOP nominee. Hillary is the Democratic nominee. There are, in my opinion, you can tell me if I'm wrong, so many holes in the screen door of Hillary Clinton as far as legal issues. I don't see how anybody that calls themselves an American that cares for the future for their children and grandchildren could ever mark the ballot box in Hillary's favor. I just don't see it. This woman is involved in too much, and it continues, and she's never been held accountable.
Well, it all boils down to a couple of things. The first thing being the press. The press won't hold her to any accountability. However, I've seen a few things where they're starting to get a little irritated. It looks like that Anderson Cooper on CNN was pressing pretty hard to see if he could get a little bit of information out of her on her, basically on her foundation and that kind of thing. The same thing happened on Morning Joe when he started talking about it, and the person that he was interviewing was one of Hillary Clinton's associates, and said, well, if they don't have that association, AIDS won't be cured. And it's kind of like, and just how much money has AIDS development been given by the foundation
Yeah.
Clintons? Well, probably about none.
You know, you mentioned some of those other news sources, and it's true. There are other news sources that are basically saying, wait a minute, enough is enough. This woman, Hillary Clinton, has avoided the press, has avoided having a press conference for close to almost 300 days, almost a full year. And it's high time that people, especially in the news media, are going to show that they can be unbiased journalists and show that they can ask really important, diligent questions. She's avoided this, and I'll tell you something, anybody, any country that would elect as a president a person that avoids answering questions, what kind of a Gestapo attitude is that anyway?
Well, it should make everybody just a little bit nervous, because if they don't fall in line with her, they stand to lose a lot if she's the president, instead of the president saying, well, you're not coming to one of my press conferences. It's kind of like, I'll make sure that you don't work anywhere. Scarborough said, you all are really not that pathetic, are you? Are you really that pathetic? Are you really going to actually say, if Bill Clinton doesn't have the opportunity to shake down billionaires, that AIDS will not be cured? And Bill Clinton shaking down billionaires in Kazakhstan while doing deals on the side and getting paid $550,000 for a 1-hour speech. That's our only path towards curing AIDS, he said. And, that kind of stuff is absolutely ridiculous. And the American people are not paying attention to it, especially the people who would be voting. But it kind of goes back to the 2009 and the 2008 and the 2012 elections. It's pretty hard to beat out Santa Claus when he's promising all kinds of free stuff to everybody. You've got the millennials that are getting, we're going to give you free college and free this and free that. And then you've got all of the people who are already on the free bread lines and the free everything and everything and everything and everything. And then you've got these people who have student loans that they're trying to pull in and say, if you're a school teacher, if you work for the government, if you do any of this, get in touch with us. We can take care of your school, your school loans. And basically what they do is they sign them up for a certain amount of service and then totally get rid of their school loans. And so when you've got all of these people, it doesn't matter which direction they are, having stuff available to them, if they'll get on board and get Hillary elected, we're going to give you all this. The point is, they're not going to give them all that stuff. They can't. We'll go under. But they think, well, yeah, I'll jump in line. I should be entitled to it.
Here's something else in regards to Hillary Clinton and her staff. This last week, I reported, and I think I was one of the very first that had this on the news anywhere, a report about Huma Abedin and her close connection with a pro-Muslim newspaper and magazine that her mother is the main editor-in-chief, and Huma Abedin, a supporter of Muslim principles. And then another story came out about Huma Abedin, that she left classified material on the front seat of her car. What kind of people are these?
These are people who don't like America. These are people who are here to destroy us. And she's just one of the ones who has burrowed inside of the administration. A lot of those people burrowed inside the administration when George W. Bush was in office. They bring them on, saying, well, if we could bring them in and kind of surround them and get them to look in our direction and seeing what we want, we can change their mind. We can help them to be pro-American and understand what America's all about. Well, that's not what's happening. They're bringing them in thinking that these people are doing all that they can to destroy the country. And to have Huma Abedin as a assistant to the Secretary of State was such a huge mistake, because she is affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood, if anybody wants to do their homework, back in 1982, the Muslim Brotherhood was formed, and they started and set out their mission statement. And their mission statement was to take over the world via caliphate or whatever means necessary to turn everybody into Muslims. So you either join or you're out. And that's what they've done across the Middle East. They've got a pretty good handle on Europe, and they're doing a lot here. And so everywhere you turn, these Muslim Brotherhood people are burrowing in to places where they can get footholds, and that's what their intent is.
You know, Rita, I've been very vocal about my animosity and dislike of the CSI Refugee Center, the City of Twin Falls, the Times News, etc., for basically telling the rest of us that we're bigots and hate mongers for being against the refugees coming into this area, and especially the huge culture change and shock that's coming to this area. But you know something, when I hear about authors like Mr. Sperry, a gentleman that I'm trying to get on my program in the next 2 weeks, he wrote a book about infiltration, and it's a very honest, forthright book about what you were talking about with the Muslim Brotherhood and others with the Islamic movement. It is very scary out there, Rita.
Well, it is, and the part that makes me irritated is that people will not get out there and look and attend meetings and get informed and find out why we need to be on our guard. It's kind of like, and then there's other people that are just totally denying it. You guys are just a bunch of hate mongers. You're just racist. You just don't like those people that are different faiths. Well, if they're any other faith, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care whether they're Jew or Catholic or anything else. If they're trying to kill me, I'm going to be against them. But I haven't seen that happen with anybody but the Muslims.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
That's right, Rita. We haven't seen that happen unless it was a Muslim. You know something? You know a person we forget about so much, but I never forget about her. She sits wherever she sits. She runs the show like you can't believe, is Valerie Jarrett, born in Iran. You know, probably, a practicing Muslim, maybe not. You know, maybe they don't even care, but when it comes to the destruction of America, by God, they're in for it, for sure. And then you see this fraud golfing when Louisiana is under 2 foot of water or however much it was, and then he finally decided to show up on Tuesday. He couldn't make it Monday morning when everybody else goes to work. I tell you what, it's a frightening thought. And, I know you've had your differences with Trump, but at this point, I don't have perfect children either, and Trump ain't perfect, but he's the best we got. Thanks.
Rita, a lot of things that Randy just mentioned, I want you to kind of amplify a little bit and enhance. Number one, talking about what's going on with the Muslim problem in this country, talking what's going on with Valerie Jarrett, whom I also believe is playing puppet master to the Obama administration. What are some of your thoughts?
Oh, she absolutely is, and there's proof in the pudding, and that's just how much time the president spends in meetings with advisors and security people and that type of thing. He spends absolutely minimal, if any, time with any of them. He isn't being advised. He isn't doing anything. Somebody's running the show, and we know that it's Valerie Jarrett. The big problem that you see is that all of this stuff is happening, and he's just abdicated responsibility over to somebody else, who he is a puppet. And I think behind the puppet master, who, was said was Valerie Jarrett, I think is an even worse situation, and that's George Soros. And he's the one who is broadly funding Hillary Clinton's candidacy. I mean, he has pumped literally millions of dollars through PACs into her, and he's the one who is going to be the puppet master. Yeah, and I think he already is, and if she wins the election, it will be a 12-year puppet master stint. And he has absolutely no love for America whatsoever. His main goal has been to take down any of the countries that he could, starting with the really little ones, and economically just totally ruin them, have them collapse. He has already done that. He can't even go to Europe because they've banned him from places over there because of what he did with the 2 or 3 of the different countries. He caused collapse in their economies. And that's what we're looking at here. And I know it all sounds conspiratorial, but that is the truth.
I want to ask you, I've got a weather forecast in about 2 minutes, so hold your remarks to a limited time if you would, but I want to talk to you about Julian Assange, the co-founder and editor of WikiLeaks, and there seems to be a fly in the milk that he said is going to jump out of the milk in October, and it's going to shock a lot of people and maybe really depress the Clinton candidacy. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I have felt like all along there is something besides just a few emails. There is something besides what we've been talking about. You know, a FBI director who won't recommend any kind of thing happening to Clinton other than just say, oh, well, too bad, it doesn't matter. I think there has been something else, and I'm hoping that something else will come out because I think there is something really big there, and we need to know what it is, no matter who gives it to us.
Absolutely. Rita, I'm going to ask your patience for a moment. We've got the weather coming up right now, brought to everyone by Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, and Company, CPAs. You know, you've worked hard for your money. You've worked hard to keep your business afloat. You've worked hard on the farm and the ranch, and you want to make sure that you work with the best people that can help you. Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, and Company, CPAs. 2 locations, 1710 Overland in Burley and 620 Fifth Street in Rupert. Excellent services with tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, financial statement preparation. They know and they can help you. Curtis Pope, Todd Phillips, Rob Oaks, Mitch Goodwin, Heather Daly, Lyden Crane. All of them helping you at Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, and Company, CPAs. Right now, here's our dear friend Gina with the weather.
Another beautiful day in the valley as we do get one day closer to the weekend. It looks like this high-pressure system will be sticking around at least for the rest of the week and into next week. Today, looking at sunny skies, slightly breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 12 miles an hour. High of 78 is what we're looking at tonight, low 45 tomorrow. Wind's going to be dying down just a skosh. Sunny skies, high of 80 with an overnight low of 45. Winds picking up again for Saturday out of the southwest, right around 15 miles an hour. It's going to be warmer, high of 85 with an overnight low of 52. For Sunday, sunny and 87. Looks like 90 degrees for Monday as we go back to work. Yesterday's high was 78. The overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Gina, thank you, and brought to you by the best. The best of CPAs, Pope Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, and Company, serving you. Whether it's your brand new business, starting up a partnership, questions, business owners that want to hire employees, all of this and more, they can help you. Please call them today. 2 locations in Burley and Rupert, 878-7000 and 436-5607. Thank you very much, Gina, for that weather forecast. And right now we're on the air with the lovely Rita Ramsey. Rita, I want to ask you also about something else that a lot of people, I think, are duped into thinking it's all goody two-shoes, it's all for the benefit of somebody else. The Clinton Global Foundation. The words alone, Clinton Global Foundation, leave me a little bit chilled. What are your thoughts?
Well, it makes you just absolutely wonder when the Clintons show their main donations to their foundation. So when you have a foundation and you donate the most to it and you don't donate to others, it makes you wonder, okay, so what's going on there? And then you find out that the amount of money that they spend and of doing different things for different things, like, you know, we're a charity and we're giving to everybody. That's not the case. People need to look at it and, you know, get online and Google it, find out the information. You're going to find out that they aren't helping with poverty or anything else. Their poverty is right in their own pocket. They're saying they're poor and they're just keeping all of it, and they've turned all of their money that they're pulling in into this is a foundation where we just we help, but it's just a tax shelter is all that it is. And they have shook down, and it's just like that Scarborough said, you know, you're shaking down billionaires around the world so that you can have money donated to your foundation. You know, where's that money really going to? It's not going to the places where you normally would think. There's very little money even dispersed. It's just kind of there for them to live off of.
Why do you think, in regards to Hillary Clinton, and I brought this up 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking, and I brought up her health conditions when we were talking on the air. It seems like all of a sudden that's taboo, and it's scoffed at. She scoffed at it on late night TV the other night and said basically, I have nothing to hide, I'm in great health, etc. Have you really looked at her when she walks up on a stage? Have you really watched her facial expressions, her body language? The other night, Deanna and I were watching a little speech she was giving, and she was wearing a green pantsuit uniform, and she matched the color of the pantsuit in her face with the drawn lines and the unhealthy look on her face. I'll tell you what, I don't think this woman is nearly as healthy as she perpetrates. What do you think?
Well, she isn't, and you can tell that by the way that she has to, you know, when she goes upstairs. I mean, she is 70-ish, and she's not in all of that good condition. So for her to be traveling around 24/7 and going all over everywhere, I can understand her being tired and worn out. But you know what? She's going to be going twice that fast if she becomes president,
yes.
And we've got to have somebody who is healthy. Now, you know darn good and well, if it was a Republican that was showing signs of fatigue and had these issues like, you know, when she fainted and when she hit her head and, you know, she's taken the weekend off. It's kind of like, yeah, she's taking the weekend off so that she can try and recoup, but her health is not good and she won't release her records, and she needs to. I think that those records are more important than their tax things that they're supposed to disclose.
One more item I'd like you to discuss a little bit, and I mentioned that next week I'm working on having as a return guest. She's been on many, many times in the past. She's been on every major national TV and radio and talk show, and that's Dr. Elena George from Atlanta. She, way back years ago, came out and said that Obamacare will be the worst thing that ever happened to medicine in this country, and she's being proven correct. And before Obama even said it, she mentioned that no, you will not be able to keep the doctor that you have now because of Obamacare. And that's all coming to fruition. Obama lied when he said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Well, only now if he's on that so-called approved list. Obamacare is falling apart at the seams.
Well, and that was the intent. It's the Saul Alinsky's thing, just overwhelm the system. They started doing that. They got states on board. They had states join up. They had some states that would actually start some of the exchanges and stuff. The states, like ours, who started an exchange are going to be left holding the bag, the whole bag, every bit of it. The states who have just expanded their Medicaid, they're going to be left holding the bag. Everybody's going to be left holding the bag in the states because the federal government is going to actually pull out and not be in charge of it. That was their intent to begin with. That's where it's going to go. It'll break the states. The states are going to go broke over it. And we're sitting back saying, oh, well, yeah, you know, got all these people that have health care. That's just a wonderful thing. Well, you know what? You can't give everybody everything and have nobody put into it without going broke, and we're going to go broke over it.
You know, and I just wonder now if the structure and the premise and the actual induction of the Obamacare, I wonder if it's too late, it's never going to change, it's only going to get worse, and eventually we're going to be waking up some morning with a single-payer program.
Well, that was the other intent, is that everybody would go over to that, and you can tell that that's true because you've got the major insurance companies who were involved in it and even guaranteed to make a profit are pulling out of it. And when that happens, it will collapse, and 2 or 3 of them have already said, we're out of here. And it's just going to get worse.
Okay, I've got just enough time left to find out what's going on with the Tea Party.
Well, not too much is going on with that, but I wanted to mention something that was really, really nice and give everybody a good feeling inside. There was a little 7-year-old boy back in, I think it was in Philadelphia, who had saved his money for several months that he had earned doing odd jobs and everything. He went to the Subway shop and bought a big platter of Subway sandwiches, and he took him to the police department and said, I just wanted to do this because it's Kindness Day, and I appreciate the police for all that they do.
Oh, that's a warm, fuzzy story, and many more stories like that I'd like to hear about. You know, when you talk about the youth in this country, Rita, yeah, they've got a lot of holes in their screen door, the millennials and the college students that aren't going to school for an education but to be trained activists, and then you hear something about this young man, there's still a lot of good out there.
Absolutely, and it points to one direction, and that is parenting. When you have parenting that is effective, you'll have good citizens, and that's all there is to it.
Real quick, give me a short answer on this. What did you think about the idiocy about some of these state senators down in Louisiana saying, well, if you want to be a good Samaritan and help somebody, you got to have a license first?
All they're looking for is a way to raise revenue.
That's a short answer. All right. Rita, God bless you. It's always good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care. I love that lady. Thank you very much for being on the program. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Oh, my, let's see. What else have we got here real quick? I got to take a look at my list. Oh, it's Thursday. That means that's why my stomach is grumbling and rumbling. I'm hungry and starving to death. And I know some great places to go if you are hungry and starving to death. Let's go through the list. How about La Hacienda? Oh, on West Main, the old Chadwick building in Burley. I'm going in there next week, and we're going to have lunch right after the program. Everything is just absolutely delicious, all fresh, none of that canned stuff in their meals. And the lunch is served Monday through Saturday from 11 to 3. Get on in there today to La Hacienda, West Main, the old Chadwick building, waiting to serve you. How about AC Drive-In? 601 East Main in Burley, banana splits. You can't go through the summer without a banana split. It's delicious. And then they also have the orange and lemonade freezes and the chicken fried steak sandwiches. Knock your boots off delicious. All of this and more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, I know a couple other places to go too. How about Burgers Etc.? 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they've got fresh strawberry milkshakes and 16-ounce root beer floats, only 99 cents after 3 p.m. What? It's delicious. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinners. Oh, my. Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Let's move over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness. They remodeled everything over there, made it fantastic and accessible and easy for you to enjoy. Taco Bandito, and you got to go in and try one of their burritos. Oh, my goodness. And all the fixins, my goodness sake, scrambled eggs, bacon, or sausage, or a combination of the both, cheese, onions, tomatoes. Oh, delicious burritos at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Let's move over now to El Caporal. My goodness sake, 610 Overland in Burley. And whether it's lunch, dinner, drinks, parties, or to celebrate your own special occasion, oh, it's dining on a budget with the families, children welcome, delicious and authentic Mexican food. Delicious. The red salsa is great. El Caporal, 610 Overland in Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Oh, my goodness. The patio's open. Live music on Friday and Saturday evenings from 6 to 9. Buffalo burgers. Fresh hand-cut fries. Oh, my goodness. Everything on the menu, delicious. Friendly servers and dedicated staff serving you at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. We're going to take a quick break, send it back over to Wheels for a couple of minutes, and be back in just a little bit. Cassia County School Days and a whole bunch of other stuff. Don't you go away. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What have I got for a temperature right here? Hold on, I got to turn around and take a look at that. Oh, that can't... Oh, my goodness, it's still pretty cool out there. 51 degrees. My goodness, we'll check with Wheels in just a minute, see what his temperature is over there. But this is Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And some of our great advertisers include Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call 734-6969. Wheels, what have you got for a temperature over there at Rupert? That's not a temperature.
I'm not exactly sure. We don't have one in the studio.
Oh.
But as far as being in the studio, Gino likes to keep it at about 70 degrees.
Oh, they do keep studios, whether they're radio or TV studios, very cold. I remember when I was doing a lot of television work, holy smokes, you acted like Nanak of the North in there. It's cold. He's on the phone.
That's very true. I was just going to say that Galen is now on the phone for you, but yes, Gina does like to keep it very controlled in here. She's picky about that. She
okay.
doesn't like it too cold or too hot.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a great day. I'll get to Dr. Smyer in just a moment. Stay tuned. Also want to remind you, today is Lunch Bunch. Today is Lunch Bunch Day over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, 611 Overland in Burley. As I stated earlier this morning, I missed Lunch Bunch last month in July. We didn't have one. I apologize. Boy, oh boy, did I hear it from the Lunch Bunchers. I'm sorry, but today's the day, 11:30, and I'm going to be boogieing out of here a little bit early before the program's over and head on down because we're expecting to have a lot of fun, a lot of gift certificates thanks to Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Walmart, and Stokes Foods. Oh, my goodness sakes, and I urge you to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get back in the swing of things at Lunch Bunch today at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Yes, it's true. They are America's Diner. Right now, we're going to get all set to go for Cassia County School Days, and it's brought to you by 2 wonderful businesses in the area. First of all, A Child's World. Whoa, there goes my phone off. I forgot to turn that thing down a little bit. And Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and the number to call, 878-8222. They've got everything, including a whole bunch of socks. You need socks? They've got socks. Oh, they've got tons and tons of socks. And they've got a lot of the ladies' wonderful new dresses and new school clothes are over there. Stop in today. You're going to love the people and the store at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, the only place in southern Idaho to have glaucoma surgery right there at the Ambulatory Surgery Center. Along with arthroscopic surgery, your knee pain, colonoscopies, please call them today and let them tell you how they can save you money. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. And I'm honored, and I mean that sincerely, to have a dear, dear friend for over 40 years on this program, Dr. Galen Smyer, the superintendent of Cassia County Schools. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, Zeb, and I hope you are as well.
I am fantastic, and anytime, I want to issue this to you this morning, anytime you feel the urge to be here at 6:30 in the morning with Maple Bars, the door is open.
Well, it was the other day, and I was glad to see you, and I'm glad it worked out. So.
Oh, God bless you, Galen. Thank you so much. Now, Galen, there's something coming up on the 30th of this month, and it's very important that we discern the difference between the new facilities and school bond election and what's coming up on the 30th. And I'm going to let you have the ball right now to run with it. Go ahead.
Well, Zeb, as you know, school started for Cassia County yesterday, and all the students are back, and it looks like our numbers are going to be up a bit. And what you're referring to on Tuesday, August 30th, is a supplemental levy election that the board has called for to the amount of $774,000. these funds would help defray curriculum, school supplies, technology, utilities, transportation costs. And to your earlier comment, Zeb, there are 3 different funding sources that the school district obtains from local funds, from property tax, if you will. One of those is a school construction bond, and those was the bond that was passed in 2015 that is currently building the projects in Malda, Declo, Oakley, and Burley. Those funds are specifically earmarked for school construction, can't be used for anything else. We have plant facility levies that is a 10-year levy that was passed in 2013. Those funds are used for facilities maintenance, can't be used for anything else. The supplemental levy is a levy that can be authorized for up to 2 years, and that's what the voters have approved the last 2 times that has come up for election, has been for a 2-year interval. For a maximum of 2 years, those funds go into our general fund, and we use them in this district to defray those costs for curriculum, school supplies, technology, utilities, and transportation. We do not pay salaries from those. Some school districts have included salaries in their supplemental levy, but the law says that you have to put in the question that's in the ballot box for what you're going to use those funds, and if you don't list salaries, then you can't use them for salaries. Our board's been very specific about and sensitive to the fact that these are extra funds that we need to help defray some of these other expenses, but they're not going towards salaries.
Okay, now, Galen, I know that the amount that you're asking for on this August 30th election, $744,244. Boy, I mean, you've pinpointed it right down to the gnat's eyebrow. How do you discern, as a superintendent and as a school board, how do they discern what's needed and what the dollar amounts are? It seems to me that's really hard to pinpoint sometimes.
It is difficult, and what it comes at a time when we're actually seeing some of the funds restored from the state. You'll recall back during the recession times, we went backwards in state funding, and we're just now getting built back up to where we were at 2009 levels. But certainly there have been inflationary costs and other things that have occurred during that time. And this levy dates back for 30-some-odd years. And way back when, in 1979, for example, it started out as a $345,000 annual levy. Well, that increased steadily over the years. In 1992, it was up to $604,000. But the board has been very concerned that they don't want to shift too much burden to local taxpayers. The taxpayers have been very good about supporting our building projects and this plant facility levy and the supplemental levy. And so these are some additional dollars that we've identified to help defray a portion of utility and transportation, curriculum materials. We did increase it $90,000 in 2014 so that we could apply that amount of money directly to curriculum.
Okay, now we have a caller with a question. Quickly, caller, please. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Zeb and Mr. Smyers, I just don't understand how you can ask for a new one when the old ones aren't all paid off. Thank you.
Dr. Smyer, you want to respond to the caller, please?
Okay, and again, I probably didn't do a very good job of delineating the difference. The school construction bond is a 20-year bond. We paid off. In fact, we're just in the process of making the last payment for the 1996 bond. and that pays off this summer. And of course, a new 20-year bond was approved in March of 2015. So that's the school construction bond. Those are separate funds. The plant facility levy is an ongoing levy. It's a 10-year levy that goes, I want to say, until about 2021. No, it would be 2023, because it was approved in 13. So this is a supplemental levy that occurs either can be voted on annually or biannually, and so the board is putting it to the public. They're asking them to approve $774,000 for each of the next 2 years. So it'd be $1.5 million for the total amount.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, this is just separate funds. It's not anything to do with our school construction or facilities. It's to help defray operating costs.
You know, Galen, let me ask you this question. I noticed it says technology, which I'm assuming is, computers, microscopes, textbooks. And when I hit the word textbooks, I can imagine it must be a nightmare trying to discern what textbooks to get and the content, because I would imagine that every day it changes. I mean, how do you gear for textbooks with the changing world, especially in science and other areas?
That is quite a process, Zeb, and your question's a great one. It takes a lot of time. We spent almost a year reviewing mathematics textbooks and mathematic curriculum materials for our elementary schools. So we implemented a year ago mathematics curriculum for K through 6th grade. But we had spent the prior year going through everything and checking against the standards and checking for content. And as you know, in some of the subjects, history, there's attempts to rewrite history and frame it differently than what we know to be so, or to couch it in different terms, or as some of the publishers will say, through a different lens. And so we're very cognizant of those attempts, and so we work hard to try to make sure that we're staying true with what we need to maintain consistency and integrity of our curriculum.
Now, this election for August 30th, where are the polling places? The customary ones, or is there a different location to be mentioned?
Through Friday of this week, your listeners could vote early at the courthouse. And we encourage that because life happens, and sometimes people can't make it to the polls on Election Day. But everyone would need to vote at their regular polling place on Tuesday, and the polls are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, now you're starting a brand new school year. Everything is brand new and fresh. The kids look good, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. What are your prospective outlooks for this school year, 2016-17?
Well, it's exciting, and I was out in some of the schools yesterday, and just to see the energy of the students as they come back. But it thrills me to see the teachers go to work and work with those students and kind of pick them up and move them forward. And we're expecting great things. We're focusing on reading and writing, and we're also focusing on mathematics. And while the other disciplines are important, those are our focal points, particularly as we expect every student to improve their reading ability and then to be able to improve their writing as a result of that. As you know, and particularly in your line of work, communication is critical. And we have to have students who can read and write and comprehend is the other aspect of that. And so those are all focal points for the coming year, and we're just striving to help prepare our students for a bright but somewhat uncertain future. And the uncertainty of that is many of the jobs that our students will have in the future don't even exist today. So that's the uncertainty of it, is we have to teach them how to learn, because they're going to have to be adaptable as the landscape of careers changes.
Okay, now, Galen, real quick, I'm almost out of time, but for those that have questions about this supplemental election coming up next Tuesday, August 30th, where can they call? Who can they contact?
They could call the school district office, 878-6600, and ask for myself or any of the district administrators or the district staff. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir, for being on the program this morning, as always, and have a great new school year.
Thank you, Zeb. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Dr. Galen Smyer, the Cassia County School Superintendent. I appreciate him being on the program. And, of course, School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Number to call, 677-8888. Cassia County School Days right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, I know Old Wheels is trying to get him on the air, and we're going to see if we can run over for our business salute to Barry Equipment and Rental, 3 locations serving you, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and we're going to be talking to Juan right now at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Good morning, Juan. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
You know, you are the luckiest and skilled person to win contests. How many breakfasts did you win last year during football season?
I won 3, and they're all delicious.
You like to eat, I take it.
Especially breakfast.
Juan, tell us what's going on over at Barry Equipment and Rental.
Well, we just did some major improvement to our shop. We got our main mechanic, Chris Talon, who just come from some extensive training, and we just updated all our shop tools. We got a brand new lift in there, and we're ready to fix anything that comes our way.
Now, wait a minute. You got a brand new repair shop, all remodeled and everything. You've got a mechanic that says, bring it on, baby, I can fix anything. And give us kind of a range of the different equipment they can fix there.
Well, we can fix anywhere between a 2-stroke hedge trimmer all the way up to a 10,000-pound capacity forklift. Anything we can get in our shop, we'll fix.
Holy cow. And what about the hours on the repair shop? What are the hours?
Generally, we can just get you in and out. We stock all our Bobcat parts, all our Walker parts, NACA, and steel. And anything else, we can get a reasonable time. So we try to get you out as soon as possible.
I'll tell you what, these are sharp people. Now, when I talk about equipment, Juan, we're talking about equipment rentals and equipment sales. I mean, go down the list of all the equipment that's available to get the job done right.
Well, we range from anything from just your simple edging equipment that you need to lay down carpet, or we have our full-size excavators that you can pretty much dig down to the core of the earth. Whatever you need, we have. And we also just don't sell brand new equipment. Whatever you see in our rental lot, if you wanted to take a crack at buying, you shoot us a number, we'll negotiate something.
Okay. The thing I like is that you've got the world's biggest sandbox to play in right behind your business to teach people how to run the equipment, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Our mechanics, and including myself, we get here in the morning, we go rough that place up, and we know someone that's coming, we'll tell them to go fix it and go enjoy and have fun.
Go fix it. All right. All right. Now, what about the 3 locations? Tell everybody that you really are covering the entirety of Magic Valley. Where are the 3 locations of Barry Equipment and Rental?
Well, our first one here is off the highway on 159 here in Burley. And our Twin Falls location, that's more of our corporate store location. It's off Addison Avenue by the old hospital in Twin Falls. And our Jerome location off the first exit on Lincoln Street.
Now, I understand that I'm going to change and shift gears a little bit. You're also a football coach, I heard.
I am. I'm
the assistant coach for the varsity here in Burley, and I'm also the head coach for the freshman team.
All right, now I'm going to give you a little opportunity to brag. Now, does Burley's high school schedule, is it going to be a little better this year as far as they're going to have more talent on the field? Tell us a little bit about the Bobcats.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of talent. We have all these sophomores that played varsity that came back this year, and we got a brand new offensive coordinator that helped us out. We got everything lined up, and let me tell you this, Burley is going to be the place to be Friday night.
All right, now tell us a little bit about your opponent this week. It's going to be a fairly good football school, Century, correct?
Yeah, Century, they're fast. They're pretty fast, and they're bringing back some pretty good studs at safety and linebacker that we're going to try to key off of. So we're just going to have to play a little bit faster than them and execute on our offensive line.
Okay, now what's your specialty? I didn't hear you. Are you a defensive specialist or offensive?
I'm a defensive specialist.
Okay, and what position did you play in high school?
I actually played safety.
Okay, and what do you think about the status of football today, be it high school, college, or pro? Let me just say something to you real quick and see if you agree with me. I think that there are those that would like to mamby-pamby the game, and I think there are those that would like to say, oh, well, it's so vicious, let's not hit anybody. I think we need to get back to old school. We'd all be better off. Do you think I'm wrong?
Well, and that's just not with football. That's just across the board on everything.
Amen.
Yeah, we just need to get down to the nitty-gritty because at the end of the day, that's going to teach discipline. And that's what, here at Burley, that we promote to the parents that, your kid's probably not going to go to the NFL, but he's going to know how to show respect to his elders, show up to work on time, and just to be a great person.
You know, right there, Juan, you just sold me on what you're doing because that's it. Football and sports in general, it teaches people responsibility, it teaches them teamwork, and it teaches them to reach for the stars and attain a goal. I absolutely admire that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, now listen, if anybody has questions about renting equipment or buying equipment for the job that needs to be done, give us the hours and the telephone number how they can get a hold of you.
We're open from 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 on Saturday. Just go ahead and call 678-RENT, and that's 7368. And you just ask for myself, Juan Alvarado, or Rod Hall. We'll take care of you.
All right. Barry Equipment and Rental, 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and Juan and the crew at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hey, man, best of luck with your football, and always best of luck with Barry Equipment and Rental. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right, take care. Thank you much. There is a very nice young man, Juan, over at Barry Equipment and Rental. Holy smokes, I've got to go over to the main studios right now, send it back over to Wheels, and we have our funeral announcements, and then I'll be back with more. You stay tuned.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you, and welcome back. And calls are appreciated, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to kind of clean up some things here on my desk real quick, and I want to acknowledge some birthdays and anniversaries before I leave the air for this week. First of all, Sharon Hardy Mills, a lady that has been very, very helpful to us and this program, is celebrating a birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, Sharon Hardy Mills. And then I've got a couple of anniversaries I want to talk about real quick. The first one is today. Gerald and Wanda Sievers are celebrating their birthday together today, their anniversary together today, pardon me. And we want to say happy anniversary to Gerald and Wanda Sievers. Happy anniversary. I've known these people and their family for many, many years. Just wonderful folks in Kimberly. Gerald and Wanda Sievers. And another family that is absolutely, we think the world of this husband and wife. What a dynamic duo. And tomorrow is their 50th wedding anniversary, Jimmy and Frida Flowers. I'm going to see them just about an hour, as a matter of fact, at Lunch Bunch. They do so much to help us and everything, so congratulations. 50 years! Congratulations, Jimmy and Frida Flowers. God bless you. And those are some people that I really want to acknowledge and thank. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to see them in about an hour. And it's true, because we're going to have Lunch Bunch at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant today. Again, we didn't have one last month of July. It's my fault. I was laid up in the hospital, couldn't make it. And we're going to have a big one today at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, the home of America's Diner. And we'll look forward to seeing you folks there. And we want to say thank you again for the people that are supplying the gift certificates, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Walmart, and Stokes. Thank you so much for all that you do to help us and promote Zeb's Lunch Bunch. I mentioned earlier that tomorrow is National Dog Day. I had a couple of calls on that, and people said, oh my goodness, that's right, and they're really proud of their little puppy dogs or their big dogs. And so celebrate National Dog Day tomorrow. I've been blessed, Deanna and I've been blessed to have some wonderful dogs, and the latest one that we have here that is complete control of the ranch, complete control of the house, and she's nice enough to let us live here, Ruby, the cross between the mini Aussie and Corgi. She does rule the roost. So tomorrow is National Dog Day. Real quick, I had a gentleman call during the news, and he said, would you mind highlighting all the games in the Magic Valley that are going to start tomorrow evening? And I said, yeah, I'll go down the list one more time real fast, and we'll highlight some of those games. Burley is going to be playing Century. The Canyon Ridge Riverhawks start their season off tomorrow at Columbia. The Jerome Tigers take on Mountain Home. Minico Spartans, boy, they've been blessed with some good teams the last couple of years. They're going to be taking on Stansbury, Utah, and I understand that that game is going to be on, the 29th. Hold on a second here. That's going to be next Monday, according to my list, at 10 a.m. in the morning? That can't be right. Well, somebody that knows different, give me a call. Also, Twin Falls Bruins are going to take on Valley View. Then moving down the list, we also want to acknowledge Wood River Wolverines are going to be playing Pocatello. Buell Indians are going to be playing Weiser. Filer Wildcats take on North Fremont. That should be a good matchup. Gooding Senators are going to take on South Fremont. The Declo Hornets are taking on Sugar Salem. Wendell Trojans playing Melba. And let's move over to Hagerman is going to be taking on Castleford. And in other games scheduled for tomorrow, Raft River is going to play North Gem. Valley Vikings take on Lighthouse Christian. The Cary Panthers play Chalice. Good morning to everybody up at Cary. Castleford Wolves are going to take on Hagerman. Dietrich Blue Devils take on Rockland. And the Lighthouse Christian Lions take on the Valley Vikings. And last but not least, the Richfield Tigers play Clark County. And those are the opening season games for a lot of Magic Valley high schools. Some, of course, don't start on this weekend, and they'll start next week. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here real quick that I need to remind you of? Oh, yes, the Rupert Senior Center is hosting a summer luau this Saturday, August 27th, starting at 5 p.m., $12 for adults, $6 for kids. Good food. Call 436-9107 for more information. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587 before we wrap things up today. I was visiting with Wheels, and he's such a great young man. Doesn't mind to him if he takes on a few extra chores. And you know, on Lunch Bunch Day, I've got to get out of here a few minutes early, and so we're going to condense the last half hour, and he's going to cover it with some music and maybe some patriotic tunes or whatever. But I do want to mention what's scheduled for next Monday on the program, and this is really kind of temporary on our list right now because we're not exactly sure. I know that we're going to have from 8:07 6 until 9 next Monday in open forum. Then we're going to talk to the folks at the Senior Junction. At 9:30 on Mondays, we always have a good report from the Alliance Defending Freedom Attorneys. Then I'm looking forward to having Steve Beeman on my program next Monday at 10:06. And as I mentioned, we're working on finalizing, hopefully, that lovely Dr. Elena George from Atlanta, Georgia, to answer questions and really kind of tell you what's going to happen with Obamacare. That is scheduled for next Monday at 10:30. Let's do a weather forecast here real quick if we can, and the weather is brought to you this hour by Scarrows Meats. Delicious. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are your hometown meat cutter, locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew, boy, I'll tell you what, they do a wonderful job. All you have to do is give them a call or stop in, because they're changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Here's Gina with the weather.
Another beautiful day in the valley as we do get one day closer to the weekend. It looks like this high-pressure system will be sticking around at least for the rest of the week and into next week. Today, looking at sunny skies, slightly breezy. Winds out of the east, right around 12 miles an hour. High of 78 is what we're looking at tonight, low 45 tomorrow. Wind's going to be dying down just a skosh. Sunny skies, high of 80 with an overnight low of 45. Winds picking up again for Saturday out of the southwest, right around 15 miles an hour. Going to be warmer, high of 85 with an overnight low of 52. For Sunday, sunny and 87. Looks like 90 degrees for Monday as we go back to work. Yesterday's high was 78. The overnight low was 44. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Gina, thank you very much. And brought to everybody by Scarrows Meats, your hometown custom meat processor for over 20 years. Where are they located? Easy to find. 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. I've got time for a phone call or two, and we'd like to hear from you, Zeb at the Ranch. A lady called the other day on the program, and I want to tell her that next week, either on Monday or Tuesday, we're going to do what she had asked. We're going to recite all 4 verses of our national anthem. There are those in this country that want to do away with our national anthem. There are those that have, and I'm just going to call it the way I see it, a very wussification attitude of, oh, well, it's so harsh, and it's talking about war and shooting. Oh, my goodness. We're going to give you all 4 verses of Francis Scott Key, our national anthem, and I think you'll realize about the appreciation, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and yes, the loss of many, many of our forefathers that created our freedom that we enjoy today. And we're going to do that next week on the program. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh my, all 7 of them serving you. And of course, I'm talking about Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, and all your tires. You know, take a look at your 4-wheeled Wonder. Got some bald spots on those tires, don't you? Well, if you're going to take a little road trip to end summer for Labor Day weekend, you better make sure you get in there and get some safe tires on your vehicle or your camp trailer or your horse trailer, your boat trailer, whatever. Stop in at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers today. And you know, they'll give you a free pre-trip safety check, a visual inspection of your tires and your wheels, your front end components, brakes and shocks, struts and battery. I'm telling you, they really care. And talk about brakes, they are the world's best at brakes. Let me tell you, professionally trained technicians, they know what they're doing. Stop in and see them today, and we're so glad that they are our major sponsor on Zeb at the Ranch, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Well, I tell you what, Wheels, what does it look like? Are you going to cover my bases while I hit the road and go to Lunch Bunch?
I do. I have like 10 to 15 minutes worth of songs to play for you.
Now, are you going to be at Lunch Bunch?
I am. I got a hold of my grandmama, and she is going to be picking me up, and we will be over there. So
you have, and you're blessed with a very nice grandmother, and I just want to tell you, her, and everybody, be at Lunch Bunch at Denny's at 11:30. Deanna and I are going to hit the road. My wife is standing off to the corner of the room right now, raising her eyebrows, saying in a very personal way, "Shut up and hit the road. Wheels, take it away, and God bless you, my friend."
will do, sir.
All right. See you Monday, everybody, at 8:06. The way things were are the way things ought to be. Take it away, Wheels.